You're listening to Thursday Night AMP on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Yay, Power Struggle, which for the most part sucked. There were some good matches. I think the most surprisingly good match on the whole Power Struggle card was that Tongaroa didn't completely shit the bed, and he was able to cohesively work with Tama Tonga in a tag team title defense against Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii. And why they are not keeping Yoshihashi and Ishii together for the New Japan Tag Tournament just boggles my fucking mind. You've got a team here that people want to watch. You've got a team here that people like, but no, let's break them up for the tag tournament. Fuck you. Fuck you. But yeah, like I said, if you want to see a match where Tongaroa doesn't completely shit the bed, check this one out from Power Struggle. He and Tama Tonga deliver a double team dropkick to Yoshihashi that would make the Rock and Roll Express proud. It was that good. And they ended up finishing off Yoshihashi with the double team DDT. It was a good match, but damn it, it's like I wanted to see it. Abby wanted to see it. I think every New Japan fan wanted to see the Chaos team of Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii take the belts off of this lame duck team of Tongaroa and Tama Tonga, but it was not to be, but at least it was a good match.
All right. I believe you also said there was a pretty good Tetsuya Naito match.
There were two other good matches on the show. The first, of course, we have to talk about the finals of the Junior Tag Team Tournament with Roppongi Vice, Beretta, and Rocky Romero taking on ACH and Taiji Ishimori, all 3'6" of him. and yeah, they teased more of Roppongi Vice splitting up as a team. But yeah, it was not to be because this was Roppongi Vice's night. And this match, I think, stole the show. This is probably what I would give match of the night to. Roppongi Vice wins with a double team dude buster on ACH, but this was Rocky Romero being Rocky Romero. This was Trent Beretta being Trent Beretta. I mean, this...
Would you even go so far as to say this was ACH being ACH?
This was ACH being crazy ACH. This was ACH... You know how Triple H is the cerebral assassin? I mean, this is kind of like ACH is the schizophrenic assassin.
That is a pretty good way of putting it. I can't disagree.
I have seen good ACH matches. I mean, ACH wrestled very well, but he also was just kind of, both in the ring and in post-match interviews, just kind of completely out of his mind.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be the delirious New Japan.
I mean, it was actually an interesting tag team seeing ACH and Taiji Ishimori. I don't know Japanese, but you have ACH just spouting off random shit here and there, just almost complete fucking word salad, saying, we are the Noah Yankees, and meanwhile he's from Texas. Saying he's going to Sizzler, and just weird off-the-wall shit. And then afterwards, Taiji Ishimori takes the mic very calmly, very collectedly, just kind of, nods and smiles and says something in a very mild-mannered way, and it's just like, it works.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely check out Beretta and Rocky Romero versus ACH and Taiji Ishimori, because that was one of the contenders for match of the night. The other one was what was our main event, Tetsuya Naito taking on Jay Lethal. I know Abby didn't like this one, but I think she's got some preconceived notions against Jay Lethal. The crowd there, I think it was in Osaka, was also kind of against Lethal, but...
Well, yeah, Osaka's always been very pro-Naito.
But Lethal really gave his all in this match, and it really shows starting off the match where just Lethal was pissed off. He hit 3 consecutive suicide dives to Naito, and that is how this match started. That was not in the middle of the match. That was how this match started out, was Lethal just throwing Naito out of the ring and nailing him with 3 suicide dives in a row, not letting him up, nailing him with the Death Valley driver, hitting him with rolling Saito suplexes. It was a slobber knocker. I mean, we all knew that Jay Lethal was not going to win the IWGP Intercontinental Championship from Naito, but damn did he come out and look like he was pissed at Naito for kicking him out of Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Right, and as well he should be, not just for that reason, but also he shouldn't be taken lightly as a former Ring of Honor World Champion for well over a year. He should come out and just lay into the guy to open the match and show everybody, I'm a badass, I was a badass, and I still am.
And speaking of which, speaking of Ring of Honor and being a badass, Lethal actually shouted out, Elgin! Power bombs Naito into the turnbuckle, picks him up, and then nails Naito with the Elgin bomb and comes within a gnat's hair of pinning Tetsuya Naito and taking the title away. He also locked on a crippler crossface. I mean, there were some nice homages paid to both Michael Elgin and to Chris Benoit in the match.
Very cool. Yeah, it's kind of a shame. I mean, as much as I like Tetsuya Naito, I would not have been totally upset if Jay Lethal had actually won here. I still prefer that Naito retained, but it sounds like Jay Lethal went all out here, and I can't wait to watch it.
I wouldn't mind either, and the reason being is that I see Jay Lethal as the perfect foil to Tetsuya Naito. The inverse also holds true. I see Tetsuya Naito as the perfect foil to Jay Lethal.
Yeah, I guess the dream scenario here would be, can they keep feuding all the way till Wrestle Kingdom?
I mean, we've seen Naito versus Okada. We've seen Naito versus Tanahashi, and fucking stupid Tana and his less than stupid hair. He didn't have any ponytails or braids. But fucking Tanahashi comes out afterwards and challenges Naito at Wrestle Kingdom 11 for the IC title. And fuck you, Tanahashi. We've seen you in Naito before. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that makes this feud so interesting is number one, that we haven't seen Naito versus Lethal before, and number two, that there is a great storyline in that Lethal used to be a part of Los Ingobernables, and depending on which side you're taking, you know, either he didn't hold up his end of the bargain to represent Los Ingobernables, or if you're on Jay Lethal's side, that Naito just kicked him out of Los Ingobernables. But either way, it is fun to watch the two of them go at it.
And how about that pro wrestling logic in Puroresu? You gotta love when both sides have a storyline, both sides feel justified in their actions, and they're gonna take it all out on each other. Man, that's what wrestling is supposed to be.
They do. Naito is, I mean, I've always been a Jay Lethal fan, but Naito has grown on me over the past year. It's no secret I wanted him and Yano to both die in 2015, but I'm glad they didn't. They both kind of grown on me, even though Yano has spent, you know, most of 2016 over in Noah teaming with Marufuji and pissing off, Misu, but geez. Yeah, Naito has done a good job, and I do like Naito I like him better as the Intercontinental Champion than I did as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I don't think he was quite ready for the IWGP Heavyweight title, but at this Intercontinental level, where he can take on guys like Jay Lethal and guys like Michael Elgin, that is the perfect place for Tetsuya Naito to be.
I actually think of it as a rebuilding project because, like you said, maybe he wasn't ready for the world title. Maybe he was thrust into that picture too soon. But I really got on board with it, and I felt that he was gaining momentum when it was cut short. But I feel like him being the Intercontinental Champion right now allows him to still maintain some of that momentum while the world title picture goes on without him. And when he gets back into it again, he'll be that much more ready, and he can have a longer run.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way, too. It's kind of a situation like where Rob Van Dam has a television title in ECW, and guys like Taz and Raven and Shane Douglas would hold the world title, but Rob Van Dam was able to elevate that secondary TV title to a level that was on par, if not better than the world title, and that's something that guys like Tetsuya Naito, like Jay Lethal, like Michael Elgin can do with that IWGP Intercontinental title. It's not the main belt, but the feuds that are put on and the guys who are wrestling can put that belt on par with the big belt, if not put on better matches than the big belt.
I think that's a perfect example. I would 100% concur with you that Tetsuya Naito elevates that belt, and that belt also benefits him because it's his version of the world title, and you better work like a world title match if you want to take it from him.
Exactly. This gives him a place to build up credibility and get himself on the level where, you know, at some point he can take on, you know, Kazuchika Okada or Hiroshi Tanahashi, or whoever happens to be holding the IWGP heavyweight title at the time. But you can just play it a little more fast and loose with the Intercontinental Championship, the championship that Shinsuke Nakamura built, more or less.
You know what I would like to see in 2016, and I'm just going to play fantasy booker. You didn't ask me to, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to see Kenny Omega win the title and Tetsuya Naito challenge him for it.
That would be something going forward for 2007. I mean, that would be a very bold way to start off Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th. I wouldn't mind it, but they'd really have to stick with it, and pretty much for the entire year, both Naito and Omega would have to wrestle at the top of their game.
I think they could do it. I think they're both capable of it. But that's your report on Power Struggle, and you've also got an upcoming card you wanted to talk about, too.
Yeah, let's take a look at this as New Japan has changed their upcoming booking cards, and yeah, Gato now is referred to as, I don't know if this is Google Translate or if this is New Japan site translating it, but Gato is now referred to as Heretical Doctrine, which, judging by some of his booking lately, isn't all that far-fetched.
Yes, indeed.
The doctrine of the heretic, Gato. But yeah, we start off with Juice Robinson versus Prince Leopard Panties himself, David Finlay. Mm-hmm. Which should be interesting. I mean, we've seen a lot of matches where Finlay would take on Jay White when Jay White was back in New Japan. Juice Robinson, we really haven't seen him much in one-on-one matches, so it will be interesting. We've seen him go over in some multi-man tag matches, but he really hasn't had any big singles matches, and, you know, Finlay being part of the never open weight 6-man tag team champions, it will be interesting to see who goes over here.
I agree. That's something to look forward to.
And we got, you know, a rare singles match with some of the Gaijin undercard guys, and they really haven't faced each other in singles matches before. So I'm definitely looking forward to that because David Finlay works his ass off, and Juice Robinson has definitely stepped up his game since he was CJ Parker.
He's barely even the same guy at this point.
Yeah, even if he does tease that he cuts off his dreadlocks and completely kayfabes us, fuck you. Fuck you for telling us you cut your dreadlocks off and then you didn't. But yeah, he's still fun to watch. We've got Taguchi teaming with Liger, taking on Roppongi Vice, and yeah, Roppongi Vice is going over in this because they just won the whole tag team tournament.
Of course.
And then we have Mr. Heretical Doctrine himself, Gato, teaming with Ishii. Why you don't have Yoshihashi teaming with Ishii, I don't know. We all wanted that, but they're taking on the Gorillas of Destiny, and yeah, there's no way in hell that they're losing to Heretical Doctrine and Ishii.
Right. You don't book yourself as the booker to go over the champs anyway.
Well, some bookers would, but yeah, I don't see Gato doing that as fucked as he fucked the Super J Cup. I don't see him doing that to the IWGP heavyweight tag team titles.
No, I definitely don't either.
We've got Dr. Claw himself from Inspector Gadget, Tomoaki Hanma, in a singles match taking on Hiroki Goto, and this just might be the bathroom break match right here.
Oh, what? You don't want to stick around to see if he cuts a promo first?
Or after, if he joins the commentary booth after. I mean, we get to see Hanma miss his first 2 Kokeshis. We're going to get to see... It'll be fun to see Gato hit the Ushigoroshi on Hanma, but that's about it.
I thought you said on a recent show that Trent was reversing and he was actually hitting the first Kokeshi
He
headbutt
did.
matches.
It was bizarre. Yeah, if you go back and watch Power Struggle, he hit his first goddamn headbutt, and that just should not be happening ever.
Yeah, he's got to miss it like 5 times in a row before he hits. That's supposed to be how it works.
I mean, you want to talk about a heretical doctrine. A heretical doctrine is Hanma hitting the first goddamn headbutt he throws. No.
Well,
no, that is heresy right there.
6 months ago we would have said it was a heretical doctrine for David Finlay to not be looking up at the lights, and now he's
part of the never open weight 6-man tag team champions. Thank you, Matt Sydal.
Yes, indeed.
What is it that Abby calls Hanma? The human handbag or something?
She calls him a lot of things. So I
because he spends so much time in a tanning bed he's starting to look like leather.
Well, he looks like leather and he sounds like leather, so there you go.
Oh, he sounds like he just drank a quart of diesel fuel.
George Hamilton, eat your heart out.
What else we got? We got a 6-man tag. We got Kushida, Makabe, and Tanahashi taking on 3 of Los Ingobernables, Japón and Bushi, Sonata, and Naito. And yeah, Los Ingobernables are going over on this one because fuck Kushida, fuck Makabe, and fuck Tanahashi.
And his stupid hair.
And his stupid hair, and his stupid braids, and his stupid ponytail, and his stupid fucking air guitar.
You are channeling Abby so well.
Well, somebody's got to, because she's not here. Did I mention fuck Togi Makabe because he sucks? Fuck you.
There you go, you're channeling again.
All right, we got a tag team match between Yoshihashi is teaming up with Okada. Why Gato is not teaming with Okada, and Yoshihashi is not teaming with Ishii, again, is a heretical doctrine.
Can't explain it, won't try to.
Who the fuck knows? But they're taking on R. Sleaze and Kenny Omega, which The fuck, yeah, because Bullet Club, I
Well,
guess.
you know what? I got no problem with that because you know I like it sleazy, and I'm a big fan of Kenny Omega, so even though that's a stupid team, I'm going to cheer for that team.
It's a stupid team unless Kenny Omega acts just as sleazy as Yujiro Takahashi, and then I will absolutely fucking love it.
Yeah, I could actually see it going that way.
I mean, if Kenny Omega, like Yujiro, say Yujiro comes down to the ring with some skank, Omega needs to come down with a skank on each arm. He needs to out-sleaze our sleaze. You know, he is a member of the Elite. He is the leader of the Bullet Club. You gotta out-sleaze our sleaze in this one here.
Right. If you need one penicillin shot, I need two. Whatever you can do, I can do worse.
Oh, he needs to up the end to like 20. If Takahashi needs a penicillin shot, Omega's gonna need 20.
There you go.
I mean, this is interesting, though, because, again, you've got the challenger, Kenny Omega, with that Money in the Bank briefcase on one side, and you've got Kazuchika Okada, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, on the other side. So this is kind of playing up that tension and that build to Wrestle Kingdom.
Do you think they actually let one get the pinfall on the other, or do you think that would be blowing off the finish of Wrestle Kingdom?
I think they let one get the pinfall, but it's not going to be on the other. It's going to be Okada pinning Takahashi, or it's going to be Omega pinning Yoshihashi.
Right. They'll pin a teammate, but they won't pin each other.
Not this far out anyway. I mean, maybe if they face each other at some point, in the tag tournament or whatever, they may do that, and it may get kind of lost in the shuffle. But yeah, not in something this high profile and this far out from Wrestle Kingdom.
Right, because we still got 2 months to go. So yeah, too soon.
And then our main event is going to be King of Dancing, as Stevie likes to call him, or the rest of the world. We call him King of Darkness. Evil takes on Katsuyori Shibata for the IWGP, or not the IWGP, the Never Openweight Championship.
Right. Now, I believe I just saw Shibata defended, I don't know if it was the Never Openweight title, but I saw Shibata won a match. Was it Rev Pro or was it Wrestle Pro? Do you remember which?
Sure, but he is not the IWGP champion because he did lose that title to Evil at King of Pro Wrestling.
Right, but let me see if I can find this.
And our good friend Striga
result.
said that was match of the year, and I'd really like to know what the hell Striga was smoking because that wasn't even match of the card, let alone match of the year.
All right, I think I've got what I was thinking of. Oh, here it is. Katsuyori Shibata pinned Zack Sabre Jr. to win the British heavyweight title.
And what federation was that in?
Oh, Global Wars Night 1.
Oh, that's going on right now, isn't it?
Yeah, and the Night 1 results are just in now. So Shibata now is the Never Openweight champion and the British heavyweight champion. So how about that?
Wait, it's saying that he has the Never Openweight championship?
Oh, no, wait. No, it's not saying that. Let me correct myself. Just the British heavyweight title.
So he's going to have to drop that. I would think he would have to drop that before the tournament in the UK is over.
Yeah,
I don't think he's walking
least,
out of the UK with that UK championship. But
yeah,
for now, congratulations.
Right, he could lose it on night 2 of the Global Wars or whatever. But for the moment, he is the champ.
Which is good, yeah. I'm not sure which way that's going to go with him taking on Evil. I don't think they would. I mean, it is the Never Openweight Championship. They could hotshot it back right to Shibata, and it really would make a fucking difference. But let's see where Evil can go with it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really a tertiary and sucky title.
You know what? The only reason it even became a title that I even cared about was Shibata and his reign with it, because just watching him stiff kick the fuck out of people was so much fun to me.
It really has become the strong style title with guys like Shibata and even his predecessor in Tomohiro Ishii just really kicked the crap out of people when they were defending the title. And that's they call it an openweight title, but it's really more the strong style title.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I would call it the strong style title too. That's the way it's been won and defended. And if I'm botching tonight, A, I blame politics, and B, I blame the fact that it's been a long week in general, because I've done a lot of MMA interviews this week. So I probably said 2016 prediction when I meant 2017, and I said Shibata was still the never openweight champion when he's not, and Evil is. So sorry for my mistakes. Please forgive me.
So is there anything interesting going on in the world of MMA at the moment?
Too much, as a matter of fact, since you asked. Did you hear about the Conor McGregor press conference today?
I didn't hear about that. No, I've been at my brother's rehearsal wedding dinner thing all night, so.
Oh, this was quite the shitstorm. It was the usual Conor McGregor stirs the drink type of shit show, because the press conference starts and he's not there, and the champion Eddie Alvarez is pissed off, like, where is this guy? What's he doing? Fuck this bullshit. If he's not going to be here, I'm leaving. And just as he's about to go, Conor McGregor walks in wearing a fur mink coat with the price tag still on it, and they get in each other's faces, and Conor tries to take the belt. He tries to take Eddie Alvarez's lightweight title, and they start getting into it with each other, and Dana White has to hold Conor back, and he's flailing his arms in the air and swinging a chair around over his head like, let me go, I want to get him, let me go.
Man, this guy has a lifetime job in WWE once he retires.
It was straight up pro wrestling. Any person who's watched wrestling, who's watching this, just could see it written all over it. You couldn't interpret it any other way.
It just screams of promo and screams of angle, and it's just Conor McGregor is such a natural, and I see the WWE has interest in him. After he retires, I can't see him not going to the WWE.
The only thing that would work against him is, even if he gets back up to welterweight size, he would still be incredibly small by WWE standards. He could be in the cruiserweight division. He could be a star on 205 Live, but I don't know if they would book him as the mega draw that UFC does.
I don't think they would need to use him on a regular basis. I think they could use him like on an Undertaker schedule. They could use him as a legitimate UFC badass. They could use him as a guy who can talk, as a guy who can improvise, as a guy who can cut a promo on the fly that's better than 99% of their entire roster.
This is all true. Oh, and speaking of insanity from today's press conference, there was also a little bit of an altercation between Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Karolina Kowalkiewicz, because they got right up in each other's faces, and there was a headbutt.
At a presser.
At a presser. Not even at a weigh-in, not even at the fights. They're headbutting I mean, this is straight out of New Japan Pro Wrestling here.
Yeah, this is what happens at the New Japan press conferences. This usually doesn't happen at UFC.
Right. There might be some fines or sanctions, but depending on the way you interpret it, it was just one was pushing the other away, and it wasn't really a headbutt, and other people are like, nope, she straight up threw her head at her.
Oh, there you go. Just throw that fine right into the purse. Make it like the free parking in Monopoly.
I think the only two champions that did physically get into an altercation or champion and challenger, I should say. Again, there I go botching. But Tyrone Woodley didn't get into a fight with his challenger. So that's the only one. You know, Wonderboy Thompson didn't go headbutt him or swing a chair at him, although a lot of people think Wonderboy is going to beat him. He is the favorite right now.
Oh, I just pulled up a picture of McGregor in that white fur coat. Oh my goodness.
Didn't I tell you, straight up pro wrestling?
It's like white. It's whiter than white. It's bright white.
Yeah, somebody said he looked like Santa Claus.
All you need is a red hat and like a white. Make a beard the same color as that coat, and there you go, Santa Claus. And if he's like trying to throw a chair at him, look at that.
Yeah.
He tried to throw a chair at Eddie Alvarez.
I know, it's fucking nuts. This guy knows how to play the business of marketing a pay-per-view like a fiddle. Even if you don't like his antics, you got to admit they work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess knowing kind of the ins and outs of pro wrestling as I do, it's like I always appreciate his antics. I mean, I guess there are some UFC fans that don't, some purists, but
yeah.
Just knowing the business, the ins and the outs, the way that I do, it just always comes off as just brilliant and hilarious.
Right. You've got a lot of people that don't want pro wrestling mixed with MMA, and they don't like him being a pro wrestler with this kind of thing. But the thing that I can always forgive him for that is that he may promote like he's a pro wrestler, but he actually backs it up when he gets in there and fights. He's only lost one major UFC fight, and that was Nate Diaz fighting him on short notice, and he won that rematch. He revenged it when he faced him again. So 99% of the time, Conor can be a pro wrestling entertainer, but when he actually has to fight, he can back it up.
Yeah, and it's not like he's laying down and counting the lights with that loss to Diaz either.
No.
He was giving it his all. He just got caught.
Right, yeah, he actually beat the fuck out of Nate Diaz in the first round of that fight. People forget that.
I mean, they both looked, oh my God, their faces were just swollen and ugly and ugh.
Yeah. And that's why, actually, it's funny you mentioned that, but that's another good reason why Conor McGregor is actually the favorite to take Eddie's title right now, because he is, especially in the first round, pound for pound, one of the best strikers in the world, and he has a 5-inch reach advantage over Eddie Alvarez. So no matter how good of a boxer Eddie Alvarez might be, for one round, Conor McGregor might be better, and one round might be all it takes.
If they stand and trade punches, the advantage definitely goes to McGregor.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a very interesting night of fights on Saturday, something to all look forward to, and an interesting night tomorrow in Bellator MMA as fights are going on right now in Tel Aviv, and they'll be aired on tape delay. The main event will be Andrei Koreshkov defending the welterweight title against the former champion Douglas Lima. Happy to say I interviewed both of them last week, and you can check out those interviews on YouTube and at MMAmania.com.
And what was that thing that Abby sent us earlier in the day with the XFL documentary that's coming to ESPN?
Oh, that's a 30 for 30 special. That's coming out February 2nd of next year, and it's going to be produced by Dick Ebersol's son, and it's going to take a look at the relationship between Ebersol and McMahon and how they conceived of putting the XFL together and why it worked at the beginning and why it failed in the end. It's going to chronicle the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as much as, what was that thing called, Game Over, the documentary about the landfill in Alamogordo, New Mexico?
Right, yeah, we talked about that on a previous show, yeah.
And I saw the picture of He Hate Me, and I'm like, Rod Smart! Hell yes! Hell to the motherfucking yes!
You know, I could tell people were getting excited about this because I heard Mike Sempervive say on Observer Radio that he was going to dig out his XFL jersey and his XFL football.
Hell, it got me interested. I looked online and I found some He Hate Me jerseys ranging anywhere from about $50 to $80.
You know what? I might actually want one for $50. I don't know if I'd go 80 or 100 or 150 or any ridiculous number like that, but if there was a He Hate Me for $50 in my size and it was an authentic XFL jersey, I'd probably buy that.
I don't even know if that's authentic. I mean, if it was a convincing enough replica jersey for $50, I might buy it.
Yeah, I could live with a replica, but I do have an authentic XFL football around here somewhere. I don't know where I put it at the moment, but it's kind of funny because it's actually got a sponsor's logo on it, like a motor oil company or something that
on the football itself.
Right, on the actual football itself. I guess that's how much they needed the money, was they were taking sponsorships on the footballs.
Because, you don't see that in college football. You don't see that in, Division 2A college football. You don't see that in the CFL. Heck, you didn't even see that in NFL Europe, but XFL, way to go.
Well, XFL always touted themselves as, we're a different league and we play by our own rules, so pretty much anything goes when it came to the XFL. That's what's going to be fun to relive.
XFL, home of the dusty finish.
I think I watched a couple of games where that was literally true.
The referee takes out a chair. Wow.
The one thing that I hope they do focus on and bring out is that they actually got Jesse Ventura back into the fold after his acrimonious relationship with McMahon and WWE and how he'd only come back for that one SummerSlam, but then they actually got him to be a broadcast announcer for XFL games. They
did. They really needed it, and it helped the XFL hold on for that season that they held on for, but not much more than that.
No. And it was pretty much dead in the water once NBC had a better option and could get real NFL games again. That was pretty much the swan song.
Yeah, and then unfortunately my Steelers ended up picking up Tommy Maddox, and that just sucked.
I thought Maddox did okay for a little while there in the NFL.
Yeah, Twinkle Toes Maddox, as he's known here. He did okay for about a season, and then he got jitters.
Mm-hmm.
He got banged up too much.
I just got something interesting in my email. Not about the XFL though.
Damn.
Sorry.
I thought Rod Smart might have emailed you.
No, fortunately not. It's a recap from the Fight, not Fight Network. A recap from Live Audio Wrestling, because Chris Jericho was on the Law, and he was asked if TNA can turn things around, one of Abby's favorite subjects. So here's what Chris Jericho had to say.
TNA news.
Yeah, well, credit to John Pollock for this recap of it. Jericho said, I quote, "My heart as a wrestler and as a fan, yes. The worst thing that can happen, and I think even fans that do nothing but expletive deleted about TNA would admit the worst thing that can happen would be for TNA to go out of business. I think for the boys and the industry, it would not be a good thing. And the thing is, I was looking forward to Billy Corgan taking over and giving it a fresh coat of paint and trying things a different way, because I think that's what they have to do. I was disappointed. I know Billy. I know Billy's passion. I know how Billy is. He's kind of like the reverse me. He's the only other guy that I know that I would legitimately. He made it huge in one industry and has made a lot of inroads in a completely different industry because he has a passion for both, for music and wrestling. I just wanted to see him take over. Sometimes you have to gut everything. Look at what UFC just did. The company was bought for $4 billion and got rid of everybody. That's how big business works. So I would have liked to have seen everybody cleared out and start anew with the roster they have. It's just not going to happen, so it's more of the same. I don't know, but like I said to me, the worst thing that could happen would be for them to go out of business. It's just bad for everybody. So there, in the words of Chris Jericho, he would have liked to have seen Billy Corgan take over. It's not going to happen, and it sucks, but he still thinks TNA could and should survive.
Oh, I don't think going out of business is the worst thing that could happen for them. I think some of their talent would be a lot better off finding more stable financial means.
Well, all we can hope for with Anthem now being in control is that may actually bring the financial stability that company does need, because my understanding is all of the talent got paid once they became the chief controlling operating entity of TNA.
I mean, yeah, now they're just really creditors. They haven't stepped up and taken ownership of TNA, which is kind of worrisome because it seems that any time they can just say, oh, peace out, TNA, we're dropping you, bye.
Well, they may not do that since they've put one of their own board members in charge of the TNA board. So they seem to be getting in bed a little more than just being creditor.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if Anthem wants to continue with them once they know what they've gotten into.
True. But I do remember them saying on the conference call that got leaked out to the wrestling websites this week that they look at themselves as having to leverage content and acquire as much content as they can, because otherwise, if they don't acquire content, then the internet is going to become the content distributor and go directly around people like Fight Network right to the customer. So they basically admitted the whole reason they're funding Impact Wrestling and TNA is they want to be able to continue to control what we get to watch. They
want to be the middleman, basically. Yeah. That's what they're saying. We want to be the middleman. We don't want the customers having direct access to anything. We want them to go through us.
Yeah, they're basically playing acquisition mode, like we're going to be what you have to come to get everything.
Except for New Japan and WWE.
Well, they're not going to acquire New Japan World. I don't think anybody is. I think they're doing too well on their own.
Indeed. Yeah, and we'll see. I may just skip the whole tag team tournament because, God, those draws were fucking horrible.
I still want to see what happens in that Kenny Omega, Yujiro Takahashi team. I'm too interested in that to skip it altogether.
I'm interested to see who X is that Tetsuya Naito is tagging with, but other than that, God, it just sucks.
All right. Well, if you're not enthusiastic about that, maybe you're enthusiastic about your blog. What would you like to promote on Veggie Bending this week?
Sure, you can check out my cooking blog at veggiebending.wordpress.com. That recipe I had for the pizza that I made today, you can check that out on there. And so much more. Even the Canadian poutine recipe is up there too. So check that out. Check me out on Twitter at Great Sudoku. Check out Barbaro Cavernario because he will like and retweet whatever the hell you send at Babarnario on Twitter.